I figured out that while I may not deserve to live, that there are many others who deserve to die more than I do. So it at that point it became a function of outliving my enemies. It, at the very least. And the struggle and the manifestation of the will to live, I think, is what gets you beyond fuckfest. That's what gets you to King of the Jews. That maybe there's some sort of salvation to be had through, higher ideals, But the fighting thing is more. I tried to explain to some guy who said, "Well, I'm not a fighter, but I want to buy your fight book." And I said, you have to understand that for me, fighting is philosophical. There's a certain part of it that's philosophical, and there's another part of it that's just a love of chaos. But the philosophical part is, one guy says no, another guy says yes, and then at some point, when the argument doesn't go beyond no and yes, this happens, and if you believe strongly enough in your argument, then you at least carry it through. So. I think I can say honestly and safely that innocents have not been punished. I mean, I never hurt anybody who in my mind didn't really deeply deserve it. So, and I don't know if that makes me a good guy or not, but it makes it possible for me to live with myself. So, by virtue of the fact that I do fight with professionals, that's much more interesting. It's much more dispassionate. There's no passion involved with it. It's most professionals are. I mean, I'm a competitive fighter, not a professional fighter. So the professionals I fight, guys who make their living fighting, are usually phenomenal fighters. So for me, it's like going to class. I learn a lot. But if somebody offends me, I'm very difficult to offend. So the people that in that street context who I might be fighting with, are people who really want that to happen. I think at a certain point, I was a very, very long time ago. I had some great, fantastic ideas, and I tried to explain them to somebody, and I couldn't. I tried to articulate, and finally I just go out, forget it. And then I realized that I couldn't forget it. That that words and language, the medium of exchange between you and me, were what separated us from the animals. So if I couldn't explain it, I didn't know it well enough to have explained it, which means I didn't know it. So I don't know, for me, the will to explain, is a struggle. And it's dissimilar to fighting, which is different. The desire is the same, but at base root they're different. So, I mean, when I think about making music, I don't think about fighting. It's more about clearing out distractions and to be able to say, in a way that I can live with, what's going on with me.